We now know the mastermind behind the mass legal extraditions to El Salvador, and no, it's not Stephen Miller. According to Politico, the real architect is Erik Prince. Yes, the Erik Prince, Blackwater founder, former Navy SEAL, and Michigan's own billionaire Nepo baby. The same Erik Prince whose company committed war crimes overseas and still walked away with hundreds of millions of dollars in government grants, government contracts. In a bombshell Politico report, Prince was exposed for proposing a privatized extradition plan involving El Salvador's mega prison Sicot. This pitch declared part of the prison U.S. territory to bypass U.S. courts. That way, immigration judges wouldn't have jurisdiction and basic human rights protections would vanish. He registered a company, 2USV, in Wyoming just this week to run the operation. The goal? Round up 100,000 people, yes, people, from U.S. prison, detain them in 10,000-person camps, and ship them off to El Salvador. El Salvador's own Minister of Justice confirmed in writing that Erik Prince is the mastermind, calling him a trade agent for the plan. And coincidentally, just days ago, the U.S. suddenly upgraded El Salvador's travel rating to the safest possible level. And guess who lobbied for that? Erik Prince. But it doesn't stop with immigrants. The administration is already testing this plan, having already paid El Salvador $6 million to extradite over 200 alleged gang members. The next phase, according to insiders, involves denaturalizing U.S. citizens, using technicalities, tattoos, even activism as grounds for deportation. Kika Matos of the National Immigration Law Center warned this is about testing the bounds of the law to consolidate power, starting with immigrants. And Mike Davis, a top legal advisor and FedSoc figure, flat out said, to hell with it. This isn't about national security, it's about power. And billionaires like Erik Prince being handed the keys to build a for-profit deportation machine. Let that sink in. 100,000 lives, one prison, and zero accountability. We now know the mastermind behind
Blackwater, now known as Academy, has a complex and controversial history. Founded in 1997 by Erik Prince, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, Blackwater started as a private military training facility located in Moik, North Carolina, United States. Initially focused on providing training services to military and law enforcement personnel, the company quickly expanded its operations and ventured into the private security and military contracting industry. Blackwater gained prominence during the Iraq War, where it played a significant role in providing security for U.S. diplomats, military personnel, and other high-profile individuals. Its armed security teams operated in a wide range of environments, including war zones and hostile areas. The company's controversial reputation arose from a combination of factors, including its aggressive tactics, use of force, and the high-profile incidents involving its contractors. Blackwater, now known as Academy.
So many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves. Then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is in.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You could say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens, because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold
making
on a
their
second.
country
Hold
a
on.
better
People on the
land.
left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. Because if you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, the people of Africa, the people of Latin America, a lot of them deserve better. Now, so many of these countries around the world.
The most violent country in the world in the 19th century, by far, was perhaps the most democratic or second most democratic, and that was Britain. You can be democratic at home and ruthlessly imperial abroad. The most violent country in the world since 1950 has been the United States. It's been by far involved
Jeffrey,
in more,
stop now.
In more wars.
Jeffrey, I'm your moderator, and it's enough.
Okay, I'm done. The most violent country